we just took the first Great Johnson road trip, and it was meant to be a fun, relaxing trip touring the South. And while it totally was, it somehow changed into a gastronomic tour of Southern cuisine. This was really not planned, but having amazing friends and family, we ate like we've never eaten before. But all that led to an epic finale in one place in the United States I'd always wanted to go and try their food: New Orleans. The food in New Orleans was always something I was curious about, but most of my knowledge came from movies and TV.
Is this a beignet place?
You ready? We drove a long way for these.
You know what would make me feel better? Ow! Oh! Crawfish smothered in remoulade sauce. Mercy!
Got a little
Some
more?
bananas fostered, sprinkled with pralines. Ow, mama!
How about some swamp gumbo?
That'll do.
So I made a list, and we headed out into the city with my wife's uncle as our guide. The first stop, Café du Monde. Café du Monde was established in 1862 in the French market and specialized in beignets, a square French-style donut that is dusted with powdered sugar. And by dusted, I mean totally covered. My 3 donuts were probably close to a whole cup of powdered sugar on it. Both Taylor and I had high expectation for these beignets, so while Kira was making friends with some of the other patrons, we dug in. And of course, I had the bright idea that we should Lady in the Tramp a beignet with the expected results. That is one crossed off my list, so we kept walking around the city. Next was another sweet treat, pralines. Pralines are a combination of sugar, milk, butter, and pecans. We stopped at Aunt Sally's Pralines and grabbed a couple of their signature pralines.
For a single one for $2.79. Yeah, that's the regular. That's what I thought, almost an almondy color. That's nothing but bad things. Butter. It's interesting. So you literally just mix it together and pour it out. Oh, I wasn't expecting that texture. Good.
Not bad, not bad. Another one off my list, and we moved on. We then went into the French market and stumbled upon an opportunity to knock out 3 items on the list all at once. The world-famous Narland's Café and Spice Emporium. Gumbo, etouffee, and jambalaya. These 3 dishes are among the most recognized and revered dishes in Louisiana. So I absolutely needed to try them. First off was gumbo, a soup made with a strong stock, meat or shellfish, or both, and a thickener, and then the Creole Holy Trinity, celery, peppers, and onions.
What do you think about it?
At first, it's like, you think it's going to be really spicy, but then it's almost more peppery than spicy,
Okay.
and it's really good.
I'm gonna try and get it with the meatball and the chicken, and shrimp. See what you're saying about being peppery. That's good though.
Next up to bat was etouffee. Etouffee comes from the French word that literally means smothered. It is technically a stew made with shellfish such as crab, shrimp, or crayfish, and served over rice, hence the smothering.
All right.
Etouffee.
You gotta get a piece of crawfish. That's probably got more kick to it than that.
This is much more spicy. The crawfish is a lot more gummy, almost. That makes it sound bad, but it's not. It's a different texture from shrimp, and I was was expecting a shrimp texture. It's a lot spicier.
The texture on this is so, it's not what I expected. It's gravy-like, but it's thicker. That is not, ooh, there it is. That's not what I expected. That's interesting. I see what you're saying about gummy, but not fat. It's just chewy. The spices hit you a little late. Like, it's kind of warm on in the back of your throat. Really good, but the flavor somehow mild. That's good. Even better with, dried out French bread.
Finally, jambalaya. Jambalaya could be considered a distant cousin of the paella from Spain, as it is meat, seafood, and vegetables cooked in a stock with rice and some amazing seasonings.
This one's jambalaya. This one's my favorite. It's very aromatic. Like, yeah. They all taste so different. Like,
Which isn't really what we expected.
no. It's a completely different set of flavors. But this is good.
I want to go into this unprejudiced, but the fact is, you're like, oh, this is my favorite right off the bat. So I'm already like, okay. Oh, it is fragrant. Dang, that is so good. It is the flavor. It's not hot, but it just fills your mouth. The texture is fantastic. The different meats. We got chicken. We got Philly sausage. There's bell peppers, onions. This is delicious. It's so good. I'm glad your favorite. I'm gonna say it.
So, of the three, which will we rate highest?
Yep. I would go number one, with the jambalaya. Gumbo is 2, and touffee is 3.
If I had to go 1 to 3, well, no brainer. Jambalaya is number 1. I like the etouffee. I did. It was different. As I've had kind of gumbo before. So I'm gonna go 2 with the etouffee and then the gumbo. But the gumbo is fantastic. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with.
That did it for us in the city, but the fun was not over yet. My wife's grandmother moved to Ohio from the bayous outside of New Orleans, and her extended family still lives down here in Louisiana. Her Uncle Pat is an amazing cook, and made some dishes I really wanted to try. So while we entertained ourselves with the dogs, Izzy and Isaac, Pat went about making us red beans and rice. For being such a simple dish, it was absolutely delicious, especially when Dick decided to plate them up in a super bougie way. It was delicious, and Pat had made so much that he sent us back to Ohio with a gallon-sized bag full of it for later. But what is dinner without dessert? Pat offered us something I knew I wanted to try, but I did not think I would get the opportunity to, since this particular dessert was only served in very nice restaurants. What am I talking about? It's Banana Foster. This dish involves combining bananas, brown sugar, cinnamon, butter, banana liqueur, and cooking it all down until the bananas begin to caramelize. Finally, for flavor and for show, you throw in some rum and light it to burn off the alcohol. Serve it with vanilla ice cream, and you have one amazing dessert.
I don't even like banana. And this is fantastic.
That is good.
This has been an amazing trip and so much good food. I only had one final thing I wanted to try, and that would be the king cake. The king cake is a cinnamon cake that is served during Mardi Gras. Probably the most unique thing about the king cake is that it has a tiny baby in it, usually made of plastic. And if you're lucky enough to get the baby, you're the king or queen for the evening. It also means traditionally you have to bring the next king cake to the next gathering. Also, there's no shortage of king cake flavored things. King cake liqueur, king cake coffee, king cake cake mix, king cake soda. Yeah, that one sounds a bit gross. We were able to pick up a king cake from Winn-Dixie. As I try to show you, I realize I did not cut the tape. Okay, that's better. The fun thing about the modern king cake is that they've really broadened the flavors. Check out this list on the side of the Winn-Dixie king cake we bought. Cherry, blueberry, praline, Bavarian, cream cheese, strawberry, raspberry, apple, chocolate, pineapple, and cinnamon. But notice the one we got was a combination of 2 different flavors, strawberry and cream cheese, which means technically there are 66 different possible combinations of flavors. Then they go and include this other space, so technically the flavors are endless. Crawfish king cake, anyone? And yes, that is a legitimate recipe I found. This is a dish to share, however, so we brought it back up with us to Ohio for the rest of the family to try. It was actually way better than I was expecting, but I ate a lot of it so I could show you the plastic baby. But somehow, we got a babyless cake, and I got a stomach ache. Well, that was an amazing road trip, but there's one thing that was still stuck in my mind.
And you've got the recipe.
So you know I had to try. Pat gave me a recipe and I took a crack at it. The only thing I changed is I decided to use almonds instead of pecans
How dare you?
because I could not justify spending $8 for a bag of pecans just for pralines, and I had the almonds already. Butter, milk, vanilla, brown and white sugar, and finally almonds, and we were off to the races. Combining them all and cooked over a medium heat to a soft boil stage, 238 to 240 degrees, stirring until it started to cool and slightly thicken. I used an ice cream scoop to spoon out portions onto a piece of parchment paper and let them sit.
Pat was right. Mine are better.
Not bad if I do say so myself. And no, I'm not claiming these are Creole pralines. If anything, they're Ohioan pralines, or like a cross between a French praline and a Creole praline because, originally it was almonds and...
Nobody cares! Nobody cares!
Well, thanks for watching, and let me know if there's anywhere you would love to go and visit, specifically to try the food.